It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in yet again to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a show with a positive message about what's going on in the Tampa Bay and surrounding communities as I talk to different business owners, entrepreneurs, political leaders, people making a difference in and around the Tampa Bay and surrounding communities. As always, I invite you over to my website, tampabayradio.com. Over there, you can catch all of the past shows on demand via the show info link. Also, we do stream all shows live here in studio. So on the homepage, there is a button that says watch the live stream. So click on that and you can see the action here live in the studio. Also on the site, please take a moment to peruse our guest network. We've built up quite a following of people through our extensive guests that have been on the show. This is week 25 of a 5-day-a-week format, so I've had a number of people through the show. So if you click on the guest network, you can see each and every person that's been on the show, a short bio of what it is that they're doing in the community. And if you click on their show cards, you'll see a link to their interviews as well. And also after each and every show, I do a blog or a recap of the show. And so there's a link on the homepage to the recaps. And you can also use the blog as a resource for professionals in the Tampa Bay region. Just click on that and use the search box and put in whatever category you're looking for. And chances are I've probably talked to somebody in that field. So if you need a personal recommendation on somebody in the area, just feel free to contact me. As always, best way to get me, contact form at tampabayradio.com. Also, please connect with me on all the different social networking sites. You'll find me all over social media. I'm over on YouTube under the channel name Jamie Maloney. All our YouTube videos go up there. As I said, we do stream all the shows live in studio. And Twitter under Jamie_Maloney. Also, follow me on the Facebook show page, facebook.com/That Business Show. We put up the recaps and also a preview of upcoming guests on that show, on that page each and every morning. But got a great show planned for you today. In just a little bit, I'm going to be joined by my co-host, Christina Griffin, a fellow top 10 Coldwell Banker agent like myself, nationally ranked realtor. We both specialize in the sale of bank-owned properties. And if you check out tampabayradio.com, you'll notice on the site that there's a lot of real estate stuff on there because that's what I do after I do the radio show each and every morning. So excellent resource for real estate in the Tampa Bay region. Peruse local real estate listings. Also see my team's real estate properties before they hit the market via the pre-list properties tab. The bank-owned properties are assigned to us realtors weeks to months in advance of ever actually hitting the MLS, and so you can know about these properties prior to hitting the market only at tampabayradio.com. Time to bring on my first guest for the show, and actually he's going to be with us throughout the entire show today. Clark Toole is the president of Coldwell Banker Residential Real Estate, overseeing the operation of Florida's largest residential real estate company. With more than 85 offices and 5,100 sales associates, Coldwell Banker closed over $12.7 billion in Florida residential sales in 2014. Clark also acts as president of Coldwell Banker Commercial NRT in Florida, which offers 5 offices and more than 90 sales associates. Clark, welcome to the show today.
Well, it's great to be here, Jamie. And first thing is congratulations to you and Christine for having another spectacular year in selling real estate. Y'all do such a fabulous job of taking care of the customers, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And Clark is our company president of the Coldwell Banker franchise that I'm a part of, the NRT franchise, a huge company with a lot of Coldwell Banker offices across the state. And Clark is our leader and just a tremendous leader across the state of Florida. So I'm honored to have you in studio today and looking forward to a great discussion about your background in real estate and, your views on the marketplace and just some great tips on, what's going on in the market, how you became a salesman, and tips for sales agents out there, whether it's real estate related or not. So, let's get started. Your career in real estate goes back to 1975 when you were a sales associate selling homes to put yourself through graduate school, where you subsequently earned an MBA in real estate and marketing. What inspired you to choose a career path in real estate then?
Oh, boy, you're taking me back 40 years. I'm trying to figure that out. I think, Jamie, as I've have thought about this, is I got out of the University of Florida. I had a degree in history, which I was thinking about going to law school because my father was an attorney. And I started thinking about that more and more, and I said, you know what? God bless the attorneys, but I don't think I want to do that.
Okay.
And so I started, looking around. I enrolled in graduate school, and I got interested in an appraisal course, and then I started taking a real estate course who was being taught by a friend of my family's. And so I just got more involved with it, and the next thing I knew, I was, got my license, and I was selling real estate, and it helped me get my MBA, and I kind of specialized in basically marketing and real estate.
What market were you selling in Florida, and what school were you attending then?
I was in Jacksonville, Florida, where I grew up, and I was attending University of North Florida, and which was kind of a very interesting school because you had students like me, and then you had business leaders. And so I was in class with CPAs, and I was in class with presidents and vice presidents of corporations.
And then there's the realtor.
And the realtor. And what was so interesting, the professor would be teaching theory, and these guys that were in business were going, no, it doesn't really work that way. And so it was such a wonderful exchange of information, and I'm just so grateful that I got to do that.
Can you remember the first home you sold? I'm going to take you back 40 years.
Absolutely.
Share us with a story of the first home
I'll tell you the first two homes.
All right.
Because it's like, it's across the gamut.
Okay.
It's the first time I sold as I said, my father was an attorney, and he had an attorney that they always competed against. He was moving his firm from Miami to Jacksonville, and my dad was a defense attorney, and he was a plaintiff's attorney, and so they always kind of competed, but they were friends, know. And so he introduced me to him, and I started working with him, and this gentleman was looking for, about somewhere between a $600,000 and $800,000 home. Well, you think back in 1975 and what that'd be worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I started, just working with him, and I knew every waterfront property on the St. Johns River, both sides, all around, and just really worked very, very, very hard. And I remember I handed him the contract to sign, and he says, I said, "Aren't you going to read it?" And he says, "No, I'll just see if it's not right." And so I'm kind of, oh gosh, I better have this thing right.
Right.
And then he handed me about a $200,000 cashier's check.
Right.
And I thought I needed the Brinks truck to go and take it to the office to put it in the escrow. But anyway, what was so amazing was it was he, his wife, and their young son, and finding a home in Jacksonville. And after I had that experience, I still have. He wrote me a plaque and says, "Clark, thank you for finding us a home. There's nothing that can stop you." And I still have that. And
yeah.
It's just those special things, and I think that is really kind of what brings out to me what's so special about real estate is you're dealing with people's homes and businesses, and I believe that's the fabric of the United States is being able to buy a home or a business, and it's very, very special because we deal with people that in the good times and also the bad times, and I think that's why we're so close to our customers.
Did sales come naturally to you, or was salesmanship something you had to develop when you were younger?
That is kind of an interesting thing. I'm laughing because I never really learned to type, but I could always sell somebody on typing my papers.
Right. There you go.
And so I guess it came a little bit natural on there, but I do think it's it's really kind of a thing where you relate to people and talk to people, and you kind of use your senses, all your senses, is to do what's the best for them. And if you can do that, I think your salesmanship, or whether it's called salesmanship or helping them make a decision, a good decision, comes out naturally. How
did you source your leads earlier in your career? I mean, back before we had the internet and stuff. I mean, how were you getting leads back then?
Well, you did the things like knock on doors. You called. Now,
and some of these still work to this day.
Absolutely.
A lot of salesmen are still door knockers out there. It's kind of a lost art.
Absolutely. We mailed, but it was snail mail. We knocked on doors. We used the phone. Now the phones were attached to something, to a wall back then.
Right.
and I still laugh is back then is to make a call outside the office, you need a pocket full of quarters. and there were phone booths all around. So you don't see them hardly any. I don't think I've seen one in years on there. And so it was just a little bit different business. And still, it's a people, it's contact business, and just as my really kind of first couple of sales were, it was center of influence, people I knew or people that knew me, and we worked that segment.
Right. Well, let me take a quick break. We're currently talking with Clark Toole. He is the president of Coldwell Banker in the state of Florida, and you're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. Our biggest problem remains north and southbound I-75 in the area of I-4. There's a crash along westbound I-4. Not really seeing significant delays on I-4, but southbound I-75 is jammed from Fletcher, northbound jammed from State Road 60. So if you can avoid that area, definitely do so. Maybe use the crosstown into downtown Tampa or 275 southbound from those northern areas like Wesley Chapel. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abraham Son and Utica Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Today, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high 90. Tonight, partly cloudy and humid, a low 80. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance, high 90.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And as always, learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Joined in studio now by my co-host, fellow Coldwell Banker real estate professional, Christina Griffin, also a top 10 Coldwell Banker agent on the national level and a leading foreclosure sales broker in the same line of work as what I do. And Christina is pretty much like a sister to me. She and I have been in business together going back 8 years, and we've worked a number of clients together on a co-list basis, and we just know each other very well, and just so happy and proud to have her in my life and to be a part of my team. But Christina, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie, for letting me be on the show today. Very honored. Over an hour in traffic this morning, and we even dropped our 8-month-old baby off at daycare. So
yeah,
definitely
you came
ready.
down the Veterans, and I tell you not to get on that Veterans when you're coming in here this morning. That place is like a parking lot in the morning. So, but yeah, we're joined in here this morning by our company president, Clark Toole, an excellent leader and just somebody that's really helped set Coldwell Banker apart from the other brokerages as a leading Coldwell Banker brokerage. That's why you and I have stayed there, since the beginning of my career almost, and you making the transition over 8 years ago. Tell me, what is it about Coldwell Banker that you love so much?
It's the brand. It speaks for itself. I probably get recruited on a weekly basis, by multiple different companies, and I just, I had to tell one of our very large competitors, just stop calling them. I have no interest. They say you're Gen Blue, you're blue and you're prideful, and Coldwell Banker's just everywhere. And I am starting to do a lot more traditional real estate, and it just speaks leaps and bounds. You go on a listing appointment and you share with them how superior our marketing is to other companies. Pull a listing up on Zillow, and I'm the only agent there. You pull someone else's up on Zillow, there's 4 other people. So it's just, I'm just really proud to be part of Coldwell Banker, and, they take care of us as agents. And,
yeah, it's an excellent brand going
company.
back over 100 years to the early 20th century, back when the founders, Mr. Coldwell, Mr. Banker, put together the brand.
Mr. Coldwell and Mr. Banker.
Mr. Coldwell and Mr. Banker put together the brand back in the I think it was 1904, was it?
1906.
1906, yeah, just off by a couple of years. But let's get back over to Clark now. Clark, explain. You were selling real estate back in 1975 and into the 80s. Explain how the mentality of the real estate buyer has morphed since you started selling real estate.
I think what was the biggest switch is back then the consumer depended a lot more on the real estate agent for information. We had the multiple listing systems. I go back to when we had 3 or even binders versus the MLS books.
I remember those. My mom was a broker.
right. And so you controlled the information.
Yeah.
I think the biggest change is when the internet came and when you could search and the MLS books went away. What happened and I know everybody was kind of in the real estate business a little bit upset about that, but what it did was it freed up information to the consumer. Now I think it's kind of gone to where there's so much information out there that you really need somebody to kind of search for you and figure out, okay, how do I take all this information and put it in front of a customer where they can make a good decision.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because years ago I can remember talking to people in the marketplace, and they said the internet is going to put the realtor out of business. Mm-hmm. But yet, the realtors are thriving these days. What keeps the real estate professional in business these days? I think you touched on it a little bit there with the conglomeration of or the combining of information, but elaborate on that.
Well, I think what it does. It's an element of time and money. And if you're a busy professional out there, working, do you really have the time to research it and things like that? Could it be done? Yeah. But how long is it going to take you? How long is it going to take you to learn how to research? So it is a lot of information out there, but I keep going back to, the real estate person's in the center of the transaction. And I know, like you two, y'all spend so much time making sure that you're educated on what's going on, not only in the research and property aspect, but also the legal aspects of it. Because I laugh is when I started, your contracts were one page, big print, one side.
Yeah.
now y'all tell me how.
Well, I remember the 4-page FAR bar.
Now how much paperwork do y'all have to fill out now?
Yeah, now contract's 11 pages full of all kinds of rules and regulations and laws and stuff. But yeah, one page. It's interesting. So
and it's not even paper anymore. it's online.
Yeah, now you learn
it's
the rules of electronic transit.
So how do you even know how to do
this? Dot loop. I'm starting to do more retail. They asked me to send them the contract electronically, and I haven't done it yet. So
and I think a lot of people don't understand the rules of electronic transmission. They digitally sign, then they print it out, and then they scan it back in. There's a lot of changes going on.
Yeah,
around that.
And I think that's how the business is flowing, and basically it's flowing to give the consumer a better experience and make it easier.
Do you have any tips for the agents that are listening to create loyalty in those consumers? We deal with foreclosures, have a full-time person that calls and answers every lead. We get so many people that just call and say, I'm working with 6 agents.
Right.
Do you have any tips on any of the other agents listening to help create that loyalty?
I think Christina is what you want to do with people, and you do it in the areas that you work in, but it's kind of on a different scale. It's staying in touch and involved with the people. And, with our new In Touch system, it allows you to do that a little bit better on there. And so if you're top of mind to a person and you're an expert, then what happens is people view you as like their attorney, their doctor, or anything like that. And when they have a real estate question, they ask you. When they run into somebody that has a real estate need, they refer you. And people like to refer people to people that do a great job.
You mentioned the In Touch system.
Yes,
Talk to us a little bit about that and how that's going to benefit both the salesman but also the consumers in the marketplace.
I think what it does is it allows us to electronically stay in touch with people. So you have people in the system, and so for example, they live in a neighborhood, and you put the alert as far as every property that comes up on the market, and so it goes to that consumer in their neighborhood, and they go, wow, this is pretty cool because I get to understand what's going on in my neighborhood. And so it's just more information and really easy. And it's not, I do it to myself.
and for the agents that don't know what the In Touch system is, it's a CRM. It's a contact management software that Coldwell Banker is using. It's a market leader product.
Right. Yeah.
Now, Clark, explain how the mentality of the real estate seller has morphed since the late 70s and versus today. Is it they're more, obviously they're going to be more educated, but what's the mentality like today? We're in the 70s where they come into you and say, my home is worth this, I need to get this. Zillow says my home is worth this, but were they more respectful of your opinion of value back then?
Well, first thing, Jamie, is when I started, we had to go to the courthouse to public records to figure out what your house is worth. Do you remember that?
So obviously the consumers...
That's going way back.
Yeah.
We didn't have the multiple listing system that goes into county records and things. So you really had to, it was really more of a kept information. I think today, in today's world, is the, for example, is the sellers may see things in the media and things like that, but the media does a broad brush. They may say inventory's down. Well, what does that really mean in their neighborhood? Are they talking about arm's length inventory? Are they talking about pre-construction and construction inventory? Are they talking about REO and short sales? All of them right now are going in different ways. And I was looking at the arm's length, and it's pretty much where it was last year. And so it comes down to supply and demand. And in their neighborhood, it's real estate is still very, very local, and that's why you need an expert that understands that can research that to help a seller and guide them through as far as what to price their home at and how to market it. We're doing a study now. We call it a 30, 60, 90-day study of homes, and generally, if somebody prices their house right, it's like 97% of the list price. If they wait for the 90-day, it's like 87%. So sometimes consumers are hurting themselves by trying to unrealistically price their home.
Well, good information. I got to take a quick break, but we're currently talking with Clark Toole. He is the president of the Florida region for Coldwell Banker, also in studio with fellow real estate professional Christina Griffin, same office as me, selling real estate in South Tampa. We'll be back in a moment. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
$579-6180.
Investment advisory services offered through Global Financial Private Capital, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Securities offered through GF Investment Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
North and southbound I-75, very slow approaching I-4. May want to consider southbound 275 into downtown Tampa from the northern areas. And if you're northbound on I-75, may want to consider jumping off and using the Crosstown Expressway if you're trying to head westbound. Also in Tampa, we've got slow traffic along Hillsborough Avenue north of the airport, over in Pinellas County, crash along Roosevelt just east of US 19. See traffic problems, called the injury firm of Abraham Son and Uterick Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Here's the 1250 Winds Weather Center forecast. Rain starts in the morning along the coast, moves inland during the afternoon. The overall rain chance 30%, going up to 90, down to 80 tonight, back to 90 with a 30% rain chance tomorrow. 1250 Winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, you'll find this show on each and every morning at 8 a.m., so I invite you to please tune in and take a break from all the political talk, news talk, and sports talk that tends to dominate the airwaves a little bit too much each and every day, with a show with a positive message about what is going on in and around the Tampa Bay and surrounding communities. Also, if you'd like to make an appearance on the show, I am always looking for material, always looking for content, and there is no charge to come in here as a guest, so please don't let that stop you. Also, don't think I'm going to get you in here and try to sell you anything. That's not what this show is all about. Best way to get me is through my contact form over at tampabayradio.com. Also, please connect with me on all the different social networking sites, facebook.com/That Business Show, as well as Twitter under the name Jamie_Maloney. Currently joined in studio today, co-host fellow real estate agent Christina Griffin, along with Coldwell Banker Florida President Clark Toole. Clark, now you've seen and trained a number of real estate professionals throughout your career. After working as a salesman in the field, you managed several sales offices before moving into executive leadership. What were some of the brands that you worked under in management?
I worked under Better Homes and Gardens. I worked for a regional company called Watson Realty Corporation out of Jacksonville, Florida. Also, back in Jacksonville, I started out with Stockton, Watley, and Dav and SWD. That was a mortgage banker. They also had a development company and a real estate company.
Now, how has the mindset of the realtor morphed since when you began in real estate back in the 70s?
I really think, it's I remember going back, and my training was they gave me a bunch of books. I remember like it was yesterday. It was raining outside, and so I was kind of embarrassed to be pulling the books out in the office. And so I drove to this car wash, and I started getting out, and I started going through the books in the car wash. And I just don't think the training was as good as we do it today. Today, in the state of Florida, we have 7 trainers, full-time trainers that really work very hard on getting people educated. Then another aspect of it, we have 3 attorneys. We want to make sure people are practicing correctly. And then we have management that are full-time managers that work on the coaching skills. And coaching is more of a fine-tuned thing. It's kind of coaching little things to move the needle. You don't go out and, I don't know, you played tennis, I think. Is it and
that's not me. He's talking to Christine's husband, Sean. I don't play these sports, so not to confuse the listeners out there.
He plays pretty much everything.
And goes out and go win the game. But coaching's really more of this. Oh, well, hold your racket this way and do that. It's the fine things that move the needle. And so I think that's the same thing with real estate agents. Is if you go out and ask them to do something, and they experience, and then you come back and you talk about the experience, and it's kind of like, what would you have done differently, and what did you do good? Because you want to reinforce the good things, then you can help really move people. And then I think it gets into this, and this is a lost skill, the skill observation. Is I can tell you, Jamie, that, well, I said everything right.
Right.
And you go, well, you must be saying everything right, but unless you listen to me, am I really saying it right or wrong? Mm-hmm. Do I have a smile on my face? Do I do my gestures right? Am I nodding my head correctly or doing this? There's a lot of tonality. There's a lot of gesturing as opposed to just the words in salesmanship.
Now, when you're training and working with sales professionals just in general, what do you find is the biggest challenge in coaching a salesman?
Contacting people.
Follow-up contact? Yeah.
Just contacting.
Just contacting in general. Why is that? Do you think people are just afraid of objection too much?
Absolutely. I think people, it's really, and that's in all sales industries. People are afraid of rejection, and unless you can kind of get comfortable with that, you're going to have a hard time in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have a hard time in any sales position. It's not just real estate. So it's really kind of looking at, okay, what can I do for the consumer? Is my heart in the right place? And you continue to do that, and you know what happens? You find somebody, you help somebody maybe with their first home, or you help somebody that have been saving all their life for the dream home, and you have that experience, and I think it helps you get over that.
I think the best way to overcome objection is confidence. Mm-hmm. You got to believe in what it is that you're selling, whether it's a service or a product. And if you truly believe, then that's going to carry over to the client. And so just practice your pitch, make sure you know it inside and out, and that confidence is going to exude from you.
I think a lot of people aren't coachable, too.
Right.
I think a lot of people aren't coachable, and that causes a lot of issues. At least I've seen that with agents.
Right. I was going to say, do you think some people are just not trainable in salesmanship?
Yeah, it's not cut out for everybody.
Yeah.
So no matter how much training,
as I said, I wasn't cut out to be an attorney. I had no way on that.
Because there's just so many courses on how to sell, and I think some people get into the sales business, not necessarily real estate, and they just don't have it for whatever reason. Right. Did you ever have to tell a realtor that this business is not for you?
Yes. And, it's really interesting because what we do is we give them an assessment in our interview process, and we try to make the very best decision we can on an individual of how likely they are to succeed. Because it's just you're working with people, and you don't want to just say, hey, just come in and you're going to be great, and continue to say you're going to be great, you're going to be great, and in your heart that they're not going to make it. I think the most humane thing to do is be honest with them and help them try to succeed. If they're not, then tell the truth. they need to go and do something else where they can contribute to society. Right. It's just don't string them on.
Yeah. Now, Clark, your skills in leadership carried you into the executive level, where you served as regional president of Coldwell Banker Residential Real Estate. At that time, overseeing 37 offices and nearly 2,000 associates. It was also during this time you oversaw the acquisition of Arvida by Coldwell Banker, the largest real estate acquisition in history. What year did that occur, and what was the catalyst for that acquisition?
Gosh, I think that was about 10, 11 years ago, Jamie. I've been involved with over 50 acquisitions on there, and I think that particular one, I think it was the size, the scope of it is just with so many facilities, so many associates, it was the same, almost the same size as we were, and so we doubled overnight. And I think in any acquisitions is the challenge is merging cultures, and I always approach acquisitions and I tell people that every one of them, it's not my way, it's not your way, is hopefully we can talk and come up with a better way. And I think that's what's helped our company NRT grow and still keep fresh and still keep open-minded as far as how the business evolves.
Yeah, so that acquisition brought in a number of offices and a number of agents. Did it bring in new technologies and things of that nature?
It brought new ideas.
Ideas?
Ideas. You can tell where I'm from. Jacksonville. Yeah.
But so it brought in new ideas, and because I still talk to a number of agents that are from the Arvida transition, and something, I don't remember Arvida. Of course, I've only been in real estate 8 years.
It was Merrill Lynch, and then from Merrill Lynch it was Prudential Florida, and then it was Arvida.
Yeah. And so how has that acquisition helped set Coldwell Banker apart from other brokerages? Is it just the size that it gave the Coldwell Banker in this area?
I think it was the size, and granted, it wasn't just that acquisition. It was, say, like the 50 others I've been involved with. It's interesting why, because I work with that. We've acquired, I think, 12 companies in the last 2 years. It's, what happens is the owners of those businesses, sometimes they just get tired. We went through a pretty steep downturn of the business, and people were throwing their own money in just to keep alive on there. And so sometimes the business owner says, I love real estate, I don't want to manage it anymore.
Well, but I think a smaller company, it's so hard right now, the way the internet and technology is, for them to even stick and be in the game. I spoke to an agent who's going to come over with our office because she cannot get her listings published at a decent, rate on Zillow, and it costs $12,000+ what our Fab 5 does.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just really hard for smaller companies to compete right now.
Right. And they've been through a downturn. It's pretty fresh on the minds, and although I think we're in a pretty golden age of real estate right now, but real estate cycles. And so what's the next thing we're going to have a downturn? I've been like a washing machine. It seems like in my career, I've seen interest rates that were 18%, and now it's like free money.
Yeah. Now, after that position, you moved into state-level leadership as president and chief operating officer of Coldwell Banker in the Dallas-Fort Worth market.
Correct.
How does the Dallas market differ from Florida?
Basically, the Dallas market, it's a huge city. I think it's probably either the 4th or 5th largest city in the United States. And it grew out centrally, and so you have a city of a pretty large population. Geographically, it's kind of right smack in the middle of the United States. And so you have, I think, 7 world headquarters. You have almost every company has a regional headquarters. You got terrific airports, and not only commercial airports, but also, passenger airports. And so it's just a lot of commerce. Now, when I went, it was, and little did I know, I went right in the middle of the telecommunication crash. And so this is where I got a great experience in down markets on there. I look at the Dallas-Fort Worth and Texas, and always research the people and things like that. And if you research, the state of Texas and the people, is the word Texas comes from the Native American word Tejas, which means friendship. The Texans still think they can succeed from the Union.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you get friendly, independent individual, and you approach it that way. I think my predecessor came in and tried to push everybody around. You're not going to push Texans around, but you work with them, and they're some of the greatest people on the planet.
Now, which market, I'm going to set you up here, but which market do you like better now? Are you a Floridian now, or you still have any?
I have always been a Floridian.
You're still a true Floridian. We pulled you out of here for a while, but coming back, you're still you're a Floridian at heart, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I was born, raised, educated in the state of Florida. I have the most ideal job in the world. I love Florida history. I get to go to places like Fort Lauderdale with all the boats, or go up to Plant City, the Strawberry Festival, or go down to Ybor City where Teddy and the Rough Riders, rode, and it's just such a rich history in the state of Florida. And
you're not a Cowboys fan, right?
I am a Cowboys fan.
Oh no, he's a Cowboys.
But let me tell you why. Is when I grew up, the Cowboys were the closest team. The Cowboys, the Redskins, or
that's true.
Or Baltimore.
That is true.
And although I do love Miami and Tampa and Jacksonville, but Cowboys is deep.
Yeah.
And plus we're the third largest cattle producing state in the union, aren't we?
Another great point there. Got to take a quick break, but again, we're talking with Clark Toole, president of Coldwell Banker in Florida. And coming back from the break, we'll talk about his role and his current position as president of Coldwell Banker over the state of Florida. Also, some talk about what he sees in the marketplace as it is today. Also joined in studio by co-host Christina Griffin, fellow real estate agent at Coldwell Banker in the South Tampa region. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Big delays remain on north and southbound I-75 near I-4. Northbound, you're stacked up from the crosstown. Southbound from Fowler, may want to consider the crosstown into downtown Tampa, or southbound 275 if you're heading southbound on 75 from Pasco County. Also in St. Petersburg, southbound 275 near 5th Avenue North, crash there, and southbound Veterans Expressway, very slow from Gun Highway to Waters. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abraham, Son, and Uterich Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
At iHeartMedia, we've harnessed the power of sound in a way that can help you expand your reach to a new group of target customers and grow your business through customized and effective advertising. Call 844-BUY-RADIO or go to iHeartMedia.com.
Today, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high 90. Tonight, partly cloudy and humid, a low 80. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance, high 90.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Thanks for staying tuned in, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, you'll find this show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, and it's a show with a positive message about what business owners, political leaders, and people making a difference in and around the Tampa Bay and regional communities get to talk to 1, 2, or 3 different business owners and each and every morning, and just so excited to be able to do this. And like I said in the last segment, if you're interested in coming in and making an appearance, I want to hear from you. Best way to get me, again, my contact form over at tampabayradio.com. Just shoot me a quick message. Let me know what it is that you're doing in the area and why you'd like to make an appearance on the show, and we can talk about getting you lined up for an upcoming show. A lot of slots to fill, and again, doing this each and every morning. So please don't hesitate to contact me. A great way to expose yourself to a great business community and a lot of entrepreneurs, and probably be able to make a good connection from the show. A lot of people getting partnered up from the meetings and the different listeners that have been on the show and meeting people through the show. So a great resource for the Tampa Bay business community here on That Business Show. Currently talking with Clark Toole. He is the president of Coldwell Banker in the state of Florida. Now, Clark, today, as you know, president of Coldwell Banker in the state of Florida, you're overseeing 85 offices, more than 5,100 associates, and you took this position over in 2007, which was the start of the tremendous real estate downturn we experienced. How were you able to lead Coldwell Banker through those turbulent times?
I think I have 2 jerseys in my office, and one jersey has the amount of closings that we needed to do a day to just kind of meet ends. And in order to do that, I think it was 87. And so in order to do that, you kind of had to focus on things that you can control. We had associates, we saw the prices dropping, just tremendously. I think, 47, 57, 60%. And it was kind of, how can you keep the associates' head in the game, because they're commission salespeople? And it was really kind of a hard thing. So what we did is we did 2 things. Is we focused on units and what it takes to produce a unit is contacts. And then we focused on bringing education in about pricing. And how do you talk to a consumer that one day their price is this, and the next day it's this, and the next day it keeps falling. And so I think those 2 things really kind of help us focus and help us get through a very, very difficult time. But it was controlling the things that you can control, and how to talk to a consumer that were going through a hard time.
Yeah, I can remember starting in real estate with Coldwell Banker back in 2007, and there was a lot of training around how to price the home. I remember the Schweppe model was out at that time.
That's correct.
And talking about how to price a home in a down market and how to have those types of meetings. So that was an excellent resource. That really caught on with a lot of real estate.
It's interesting, Jamie. I said there was 87 units that year. Well, next year, the price had dropped, so I had to change that number to 118 units. Right? And that just reminds me, when you think things can't get worse, they can get worse on there. And so, but you know what? We banded together, and we did a lot of things. We made some tough decisions, but, we really kept, a lot of families with our associates, making a living. And I think that's really gratifying there.
What is your view of the current real estate market, and how far have we come since the downturn that started actually in 2006?
Right. I think if you look at the market, the indicators are really good. We're going to hit 20 million people in the state of Florida this year. I think that's a growth rate, and I use Thomas Fishkind as an economist. That's a growth rate about 928 people a day. I think Tampa Bay is going to be about almost 3 million people. And that's a growth rate of 190, a net growth rate. So you got population coming in. You look at the unemployment. That unemployment rate is going down. So more jobs are being created. You look at we're at record-breaking tourism, which is another positive information. You look at the commerce in the state, and we're ranked as the number 2 state as far as to do business in. We're working with 7 group moves of big corporations coming down here now on there, which is a great sign. You look at the airports and the direct flights. I mean, both your airports, they have like 63 domestic direct flights and 12 international direct flights. And I think this is the most significant thing that I think I've seen in my whole career with the state of Florida, and that's the transportation patterns of the world changing. Is with the deepening and the widening of the Panama Canal, in which I was talking down there a couple of years ago, and there's 3 locks now. Adjacent to it, they're putting 2 wider and deeper locks so you can get a bigger ship. But the total tonnage going through there increases. It changes that pattern of shipping things from Asia to Oakland or L.A. They can float it to Florida, and we have 14 ports in the state of Florida, in which Tampa Bay has 2. And then you can truck it or rail it from there. And so you're seeing it already now. I think y'all probably noticed a couple of weeks ago, announcing all the warehousing in Polk County. And so all this stuff is...
New construction is phenomenal. I'm so excited. I live in Pasco County. 8,000 to 12,000 homes are being slotted to be built in the next few years. I get excited with new construction. My husband hates it, more traffic, but it's amazing the growth with all of the new construction. Again, it's exciting.
Yeah, and that's all the indicators. Yeah. So I look right now, we're in another golden age of real estate for the state. Now, I don't want to be Pollyanna to think that this is going to last forever, because it does cycle, and so you want to take you want to enjoy it and do good business, but you also want to make sure that you're preparing for any downturns too. However, and I think that's a real key thing for real estate company and real estate agents.
Now I know the Tampa market pretty well, but you yourself are all across the state of Florida. How is the landscape in the marketplace? Are short sales and foreclosures as dominant in other markets? I mean, even in Tampa, they're not really dominant anymore. But how is that landscape across Florida with regard to just retail? It's pretty much the
same. I've done some deeper dives. We were talking about inventory earlier, and the sector that inventory is down the most is short sale scenarios. Quite honestly, the sector that is up is pre-construction and construction, which Christina just indicated.
Yeah, so and that's one reason why Christina just mentioned that she is shifting into traditional real estate out there and getting into new construction. So, Christina, if you want, go ahead and put out the pitch. I just sell foreclosed properties, but anybody that's listening and out there right now, Christina is a great resource for traditional real estate.
If anyone, I've got an amazing group of agents that I work with. If anyone is interested in either selling your home or finding out about how amazing the new construction is in Pasco County, give us a call at 813-389-1847. That's 813-389-1847. And transfer to our call coordinator. We have someone full-time that can talk to you at any time of the day about properties.
I just wanted to add something, a compliment to both of y'all is, y'all are in the top of the echelons of Coldwell Banker, and that's thousands and thousands of associates. And to do that, congratulations to you for staying focused on giving the customer a great real estate experience.
Thank you.
Y'all do it, the best of the best, and I think that's really key. And so I thank you personally from that.
Yeah.
I have to give a shout out to Tom Ferry. I'm coaching with him now, and between that and the resources with Coldwell Banker, that's helping me be better at what I'm doing.
Yeah, and just from a real estate perspective here, I mean, it's the marketing and the branding that Coldwell Banker gives to the real estate professionals and also back to its consumers. It is the leading brokerage in the area. I don't like to get salesmen on my show or anything, but it is a great brokerage. So if you're out there considering selling your home, reach out to myself or Christina Griffin here, or just visit TampaBayRadio.com and shoot me a quick message. Also, a free home valuation on the homepage as well. If you didn't get her information, we do offer that on the homepage. Just click on the Sell Your Home link, and we'll get that over to you within about 24 to 48 business hours. Clark, excellent discussion day. I thank you very much for being in studio today.
It's been a thrill. Thank you.
Absolutely. And also thank you to fellow real estate professional Christina Griffin.
Thanks for having me, Jeremy.
Absolutely. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning again at 8 a.m. Tomorrow will be Working Women Wednesdays, a weekly feature brought to us by the Working Women of Tampa Bay Networking Group. And again, you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.